Hey, you know what it is? It's your man, Mastermind, my partner in crime.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Big Co. Welcome to the Big Co Show.
And
I
as
got a
you
major
see, it's
lag. Can you hear me? Okay, like
major
it
lag.
seems
Yeah,
like you said what?
major lag. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's on my end or but the intro was really fast. Like it was like it was sped up like the chipmunk. So I don't know. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're just
Okay.
in the past when I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. I don't know how that's gonna work out for the show, but we'll try to make it do what it do. Welcome to the Big Co Show, y'all. It's been a minute. Actually, has it been a minute? Did we do a show last week? We did. No, we did a show last week. It's been a minute since me and you been together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was out of town working, and where I was, I couldn't get online. It was no bueno. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was great shows though, both of them. I was
Uh,
trying to be on, but it didn't happen.
yeah, I appreciate it. So glad to have you back, though, man. Because from a production value standpoint, you know what I mean. There was definitely some misses last week in the last two shows. So yeah, great to have you back, brother. How things in the homestead? Everything good? Family good?
Everything is good over here. I'm just happy I was able to see this movie we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, yeah.
And because we got a lot of great guests, so I just wanted me and you to wrap real quick and say what we thought about the movie or whatever, just
Okay.
real quick, if we liked it or not, and then we'll get into the discussion and everything because time is money.
Yeah. So
But with that said, on a scale of a 5 point scale, I give it about a three and a half.
Well, I want to give
It
them a
was
little
enjoyable.
background. I want to give them a little background just in case people don't know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
So, this evening show, we're going to be talking about Coming to America, the sequel, 30-year 30-year lapse sequel for Thomas class that is enjoyed by so many people across the world. So that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be talking about today. We got some great guests. We got some people that are actually involved with the project. We got some people that from a professional standpoint have a lot to say about the project, good or
Oh
bad. So I just
man,
wanted to get into because I've seen a lot of reviews. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on the movie. On social media.
people got comments.
Yeah, like comments to the extreme, in my opinion. Like I don't know, I've seen some, call it garbage. It was trash. The worst thing they've ever seen, which I think is exaggeration. So
Yeah, I
just
mean, it's. I mean, I don't even know how they get there, but I'm sure it's possible. Our guess could be on that extreme. Then some people say, "Hey, it's the greatest movie ever." Well, I haven't seen too many of those, but
yeah, I don't know if we'll get a bunch
extreme.
of those, but so if you want to join the conversation, you can go to our show page, the Big Coach Show on Facebook Live, and you can put in your comments and your questions there. You can also, in order for those comments to be brought up on screen and we can share them with the
Hmm.
viewers, you want to go to that page. But we're going to try to follow all the comments that are coming in from all of our different media outlet platforms. So let's get into the conversation. So I'll lead. We'll start with you, brother. Um, what did you think?
Me? You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I told you. I like at 3.5. I enjoyed the movie, but I thought the only way this movie works is if the first movie exists. So it's more of a bridge from the first, and then it opens itself up for a sequel.
Right.
Usually when I'm watching the movie, if I fall in love with the characters or I tell myself I would love to see this as a television show, that's usually an indication that I like the project, and I can actually see this movie, all these characters, as a TV show on like Paramount Plus or something like that. And
Yeah. So
so,
I thought they did a great job of leaving it open.
yeah,
To if they wanted to go further with the series, but the movie definitely does not work if you hadn't seen the first movie.
yeah.
So
Even though
like,
they were giving you flashbacks, you have to see the first one
no,
because it's a love letter to all the fans. It was like, hey, we know how much you love this movie. We're pretty much doing this movie for y'all.
right. So I'm gonna hold some of my comments on the movie
Okay.
to get some of the guests on. So let's go ahead and bring on our first guest.
Hooey, let's ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna call her Beauty.
And Beauty is her name. Hey, Beauty, welcome
Hello,
to the show.
hello.
Hey, friend, how
What's
are you
up?
doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. Give our viewers a little bit for the people who don't know you. A lot of our viewers are very familiar with you because you are a homegrown dog. Go Dogs.
Go
So
dogs.
just give it the people that aren't familiar with you and just tell us a little bit about who you are and the myriad of things that you've had going on.
Well, I have been doing a good bit of writing, songwriting, a bit of recording. Most people from UGA know me as a singer, but I was also an actress at that time, a budding actress. It took me to marry my husband to realize that I was a screenwriter as well. So we've been writing and, just staying busy with projects. We came off of a pilot production last November. No, that was 2019 because like 2020 is like
What's
a
up, brother? Right.
so, yeah, so we're staying busy, but definitely this movie gave me something different to do. And I mean good different, like in all sense of the word. So big family atmosphere on set, just awesome. And like you said, it was a love letter to the fans, and feeling that sense of family was a huge part of why everybody loves this movie, because it transcends on screen.
Right.
It does. While I have this real quick, because everybody want to know this, did they have as much fun behind the scenes as it looked like they did?
Oh my gosh. It was a party. It was a party every time you showed up on set. And the funny thing about it is the costuming, right, was so elaborate, but it was so royal. So once you got dressed in hair and makeup, and I mean men and women alike, once you got on that persona, you were a Zamundan. I mean, like you literally were, and everybody was, talking in the accent, and it was so much fun. It was electric. It's hard to explain. I can't say you had to be there. I don't want to say that, but literally thousands of actors, thousands of people, and it literally felt like you could not meet a stranger because everybody was all hugs. Of course, it was pre-COVID, but everybody was all hugs and "What's up, my sister? How are you, my queen?" Everybody was in character.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun.
So, Beauty, tell us how you got to be involved in the project, from start to finish. Talk to me about some of the more interesting days on set, because, like, for a lot of people, Arvell and I have had the great privilege of being in, movie production before. So a lot of people don't understand, the day to day. Like, it's a lot of hurry up and wait.
It is.
So talk to us a little bit about the whole process of it. Like, when did the project start? I know it just, aired recently here, but like you said, it was pre-COVID. So give us a little context behind that, like the whole timing of the project as well.
Well, pretty much. I started hearing a buzz on different platforms because I frequently just kind of look at project casting, or I'm with Central Casting, and I just kind of, registered with a few because I figured, hey, I run a business, but I'm not always doing something day to day. So why not do a little extra work?
Right.
And that's how I kind of got into it. One of my sorority sisters let me know that they were holding some auditions at Dance 411. At that time, they were holding auditions for dancers. And, I can bust a move. I can bust a move, but, and I have choreographed and I step team, all of that wonderful background. And I was a signed recording artist for a pop group. And we did a lot of choreography. However, this was different. So when I went to that audition, I was looking around like, okay, so these are like real dancers. Like, these are not people who are in a group and they're just dancing for fun, or maybe even a recording artist. They're not that. Like, these are people who are on videos. Right. They are dancers, like for real, for real.
Right.
So I was a little out of my element, but I still stuck with it, caught on to the choreography. So I went home and I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to make that one, but we'll stay tuned. So then there was another audition for a choir. And I'm like, well, singing, that's my thing. That's what I do. I'm a vocal coach. I can handle this.
Right.
But when I got there, we were not even asked to sing. there was no singing. It was choreography. We were lip syncing. It was more of, and you actually saw this scene in the movie. It was more of when Gladys Knight was out and the homegoing funeral portion. And so I auditioned for that, but it literally was choreography and lip syncing. So it wasn't even a chance to show that I could sing. So another one, I said, okay, well, I'm going to chalk that up to, well, I don't know. Third chance. My casting agency directly contacted me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Zamundum royalty. And I said, yes, of course. And so that was my in. Yeah. So, I didn't go in as what I thought I would, my industry go-tos, entertainment, dancing, singing, whatever. But I was just standing there, looking regal. That's all.
Yeah,
Clapping.
I had an audition. For the movie. It was like when I found out about it, it was on my bucket list. I was just like, I got to be in this film.
Yes.
All right, I have to do this. And so I get to the audition. It might be like 25 to 30 of the heavy hitter Black dudes in Atlanta, right? And so I was just like, oh man, it's for real in here.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people that auditioned was Rodney Perry. And
okay. That puts it in perspective.
Like, this is who we are competing against. And it wasn't until I watched the movie to find out who booked the role. So I'm sitting up there watching the movie, and I'm just like, hey, babe, is that Rodney Perry? And she was just like, yeah, in your role? Yeah, that's him. So
and there weren't a lot of lines to go around.
It wasn't.
Now, unless you were main cast, there were not just arbitrary lines.
I noticed that. So I don't feel bad, but I wanted just to be a part of history.
Yeah.
I love the first one so much.
Yeah. So Mastermind, let's go ahead and bring on Shawn.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Durham.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Welcome back to the show, brother.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. How you doing, Miss Beauty?
Hi.
So do y'all know each other? Because y'all at Georgia at the same time. So I don't know if y'all know each other, but y'all were both.
I don't. No. A lot of folks there. So, you see people in passing, and then we looked a little bit different from when we were in college. So
right.
Beauty, do you remember me from Georgia? Do you remember me? I'm just joking. Of course. I hope. Look, and speaking of that, though, but I just want to tell you something. Like you talk about how everybody knows you for being a vocalist. You remember, I used to always refer to you as a songbird. Every time I would see you, I'd be like, "Hey, songbird! Hey, songbird!" Because you got them pipes. So funny. Shawn, tell the people, remind the people a little bit about what you got going on, man. Welcome back to the show. Always a pleasure to have you on, brother.
All right. Thanks for having me, Co. Thanks for having me, Poe. So I am a full-time actor and a writer up here in Washington, D.C. I'm about to turn my audio mini-series, The Great Recession, or How Democracy Broke Its through a comedy of errors, that's political satire, into an audio book. But we're about to promote it one last good time. We're up to 2,000 hits on that one, and so that means about 600 to 700 people actually listen to the. Excuse me a second. I'm on the Smile Direct thing, and I got had to take my aligners out because I'm listening. But my political satire podcast is still out there, and we're about to push it one more time before the next State of the Union. But that's done well. I'm in commercials, done vaccine commercials, done a couple of short films, and I'm working on transforming a play into a movie. So I might be hitting one of y'all up if I come down to Atlanta to do something, but right now we're in the real early stages of working on that.
Get it in, my friend.
On Fred Douglas and Ida B. Wells. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. And then we also have Ishues joining the show. Ishues, what's going on, my brother?
Yo, what's good, homie? Can you hear me?
We sure can.
All right, cool. What's good with you? What's up with everybody?
Hey.
How you doing, man?
What's up,
so
brother?
Ishues, I don't know for anybody who's been around after any given period of time, man. Like Ishues, probably one of the best like freestyle battle rappers I've ever come across in the history of life. Like he's one of the people that kept the this hip hop scene going and still doing big things. Had done world tours and traveled with a lot of the main name artists, and one of my favorite rappers. Welcome to the show, brother. Tell us a little bit about what you've been working on.
Right now I got a album out right now. Came out last year called Ishues, the Anti-Rapper. I got a mixtape and an album that I'm working on right now. And currently right now, I'm a boxing trainer at a gym, and I got professional amateur fighters I'm working with, and I also have some children's, some youth programs and stuff like that I'm doing. Besides that, my activist work, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome, man. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us, bro.
No
So
doubt.
part of the reason why I invited you to the show, because I was going through my Facebook feed and I was just looking at different opinions of the movie. So I wanted to get some varying opinions on this movie. You know, like I said at the beginning of the show, the original flick is a movie that's near and dear to so many hearts and minds in our culture. So we thought it made sense, to have a show to talk about the movie. So I guess I'll start with you issues. Tell me what were your thoughts on coming to America?
Whoo!
Oh,
Okay.
remember, keep it 100.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100. Y'all probably not gonna like me, but here we go. First of all, I was anticipating this movie without a whole bunch of major expectations.
Okay.
But Coming to America 1, if I had to get trapped on a desert island and I can only have a shoebox full of movies for the rest of my life, Coming to America would probably be one of the first ones that I choose. Mm-hmm. It's without a doubt one of my favorite movies. I've seen it a million times. It's one of those movies that I could probably spout off all of the dialogue right here.
No
That's
doubt.
how many times I've seen it. So it is a movie that's near and dear to my heart. So I was just kind of waiting for the second one, anticipating. I wanted to watch it without any really major expectations. And I watched it the first time and I gave my emotional take on it. And then I tried to give it another chance. And so I watched the first one and the second one back to back. And my take on the movie is overall, it was trash. Sorry.
Trash.
It was trash.
Oh,
trash.
No,
sir. No redeeming qualities whatsoever. It's just trash.
I'm gonna say this. Well, after I watched it the second time, the only thing that makes it enjoyable, I'm a stickler for details. So the only thing that made it enjoyable is you have to forget about the first one. That's how I felt. If you forget about the first one and leave it as a standalone movie, it was entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It was entertaining. Like I watched the first one and like I said, okay, I'm gonna watch it without forcing myself to laugh. I've heard these jokes a million times. I'm just gonna watch it with a blank face. And throughout the movie, even though I've heard these jokes a million times, I'm in tears. Then I watched the second one with the same mentality, and I barely got a chuckle. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm gonna be real, honestly, it's no shot at Eddie Murphy. I still think Eddie Murphy's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But as a fan of the movie, as a fan of a movie that played a lot into my childhood and my growing up, as one of the characters that I grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like endeared to.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was trash. I thought it was horrible. I thought as a sequel, because more important than anything, for a sequel, it has to follow the storyline of the first one. And I felt like it didn't. I felt like there were things in the first movie that negated the plot for the second movie. So the only way for me to really say, to give it anything more favorable than saying it was just trash.
Oh my gosh.
Trash because it was enjoyable. It had enjoyable moments. But
all right. Anybody want to jump in?
That made it enjoyable for me. I have to forget about the details of the first one.
Okay, Issues. All right, y'all heard him. Issues says this is true. All right, Beauty, go ahead. I'm giving you the floor.
I don't think you can leave out the first movie. Connecting it to the first movie is what makes it feel like family. It's what connects it all together and make us feel like we're part of this journey. So I loved all of the flashbacks. I loved all of the explanations. So you were saying that some of the things in the second movie completely negates what happened in the first movie. You're going to have to give me examples because I don't see that. I don't see that. But let me say why I don't see that. It's because even when I had a question of, wow, he has a son, or wow, he when they were in that in that scene when they were in the bar and they were meeting girls and the little Boxy twins and everybody, they cut to a whole nother section to explain to us how this happened. And so they did do a very good job, I thought, of explaining things and filling in those gaps that we may have had a question about as an audience member. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Please stop saying it's trash.
Well, real quick, that scene right there was awesome. The way that transition from the old footage to the new stuff, I loved it.
This is the response. This is how I feel. I feel like, first of all, movies are not just entertainment. You understand? Like, this is how I feel, right? Like I said in the beginning, y'all probably gonna be mad at me, but movies are not just entertainment. They've always, since 1915, when they made The Birth of a Nation, movies have always driven a narrative. When Boys in the Hood and Scarface and all these different, when blaxploitation came out in the 70s, it literally shaped the scenery of especially us in the Black community. So movies mean a lot more than just mindless entertainment. So for me, you asked for example. Okay, first of all, again, I'm a stickler for details. In the scene where you're talking about, he was with the Arsenio Hall drag character. I'm gonna tear you apart and your friend too. Then he got up and he went and met the chicks at the bar, right? And then, according to the story, he met the chicks at the bar and he took them to the crib and they smashed, right? Well, if you watch the first one, that after they left that scene, they went and met Mr. Clarence. And then they didn't get to the crib yet. Mr. Clarence was like, yo, I'm going to this Black awareness rally. Y'all can come with me. They went with him that same night, and then he met Lisa, and that's where the story took off.
But I didn't get the sense that they went to the crib. I got the sense they were still in the club.
Huh?
I did not get the sense that they went to the crib. I got the sense that they were still in that club. So after they left the club, they could have went on, like you said, and met Mr. Clarence. However, I thought that scene was a continuation of what happened inside of that club.
I mean, only if you blur the details of the first one. Because even when they went into the apartment still had the dead man and the dead dog tape on it. So that means that they went straight from the club. They took the chicks home. Akeem got date raped. So there's no way that he got up conscious and went and seen Mr. Clarence. In the first one, they came straight from that specific scene and they went and saw Mr. Clarence closing up the barbershop. And then they went to the Black awareness rally and they met Lisa. So
well, we know
Ishues is coming with it, y'all.
All that kind of stuff. Or if you forget details, like I'm a details dude. I watch movies for details.
Good for you.
In the movie, they were sitting there talking to Arsenio Hall character. Arsenio Hall got up from the thing and said, yo, so he went over there to the bar, and that's where he met Leslie Jones and the other chick. And then they took him to the crib. But in the original movie, it didn't happen like that. They went from that scene, that bar, and they saw Mr. Clarence, and then they went to the Black awareness rally. He fell in love with Lisa, and that essentially is what drove the character. Now, by adding what they added, they in a sense assassinated the character. Akeem was our
assassinated the character.
I'm gonna tell you why. This is my opinion. Listen, and here's the thing. That's why I said people are gonna get mad, because people are emotionally attached to this movie. So when you say
many people are though. Many people are.
But I just have to speak my truth. The way I feel like is this: Akeem was the first Black Prince Charming. He was the first. There was no that image did not exist on Black cinema, especially on the silver screen. That image didn't exist in the 80s of a wholesome, morality-driven prince who's dumbing down, who's humble, he's mopping floors at the establishment, all to find his true love, not to go out and smash. You know what I'm saying? So when they brought it all the way back, they basically, to me, I felt like they took our Prince Charming. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same way of like you was into the Cinderella story, and Prince Charming came and took Cinderella, and they lived happily ever after. And then you find out, you know what I'm saying? Like Prince.
But you have to have some. You have to have some drama. I kind of agree. I somewhat agree. Not that the character was assassinated, but I do think that it could have sullied a little bit of this idea that we have of Prince or King Akeem. Because, like you said, we have this Prince Charming figure. He's brown, he's beautiful, all of these wonderful things. And you're thinking, now, how did he get somebody pregnant? But the redeeming factor is, okay, well, he was drugged. He didn't know any better. So you kind of, in my mind, because I'm a very family-friendly type of programming person. So when I see that, I'm like, well, bless his little heart. He was drugged. He didn't know what was happening. So that's how I'm able to reconcile it within my own mind.
Well, that means now we have to focus on date rape as a comedy, ploy, which is unsettling to a lot of people.
That's true. That's true.
If the roles were reversed,
that would not happen.
The main character was and the guy came in and drugged her, have sex with her. That's not funny.
Right.
No. Hey, real quick, because I can feel the energy.
Ignore these things in order to enjoy it. And then the other thing, like I said, realism plays. I know it's a comedy, it's fiction, but realism plays a part. He took a shotgun. And got dick ripped.
Like, what kind of weed was he smoking that he forgot this whole night?
Like, come on now.
That was that good. All right, hey.
And then here's the other part of it. Again, these are things
I got to let Shawn speak.
About the characters. Akeem was a prince, upstanding, handsome.
Can he hear?
Simi was there to pretty much watch over him. Right now, in the real world, there's no way that he would put his prince in that situation. He saw the chick. There's no way that he would put his prince in that situation.
But his daddy had something to do with that. His daddy had something to do, if you think about it, because he wanted Akeem. He didn't have faith in Akeem, and he wanted to make sure Akeem had a boy to keep the line going. I'm not defending what's going on. I'm just saying, Simi and
that was invented for the second one.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We're talking about the second one because none of this was established in the first one.
Watch this. I'm about to kill you with this one again. I'm a details dude.
Okay.
Right? After Akeem gave Lisa the earrings, and they were at McDonald's, and they were cleaning the windows, Akeem said, and I quote, I haven't had sex since I came to America.
Yeah, you sure did.
Whoa, let me finish. Which was a line that set up a funny joke at the end of the movie when Joffrey Joffer finally came to the hotel, pulled him out, and he said, take him to the room and bathe him thoroughly. On his face, like, oh, thank you, Your Majesty. Why? Because he hadn't smashed the whole time.
I see what you're saying.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah, Simi, yeah.
In order to believe the storyline, and that's just one. I got plenty more.
Well, before you get to those, we have to talk to Shawn because Shawn is over there. I can just feel the energy coming from him because I think he's co-signing everything that you say. So, Shawn, what's popping?
I got plenty more.
I know.
Wait, real quick, before we get to Shawn, I just want to say when any movie, there is the suspension of disbelief, right? In order for you to enjoy any movie, there has to be some suspension of disbelief. But I have to corroborate with what Ish is saying because I thought about a lot of those facts too, particularly when Simi said,
that's a good one.
But go ahead, Shawn. What you got, bro?
All right, I'm gonna try to be pithy, but I do want to take my time because I've been sitting here for 30 minutes. But I'll put it like this. I'll just say like this real quick. Movies are an organic thing. I'm not doing something on the level of tokenism, or I'm not doing it, or I'm not going to enjoy something because I'm supposed to enjoy it. I did not organically enjoy this movie, period. I didn't laugh. I think I had like maybe 4 and 1 ha, and the rest were groans and eye rolls. And that's the point of the movie, right? It is supposed to be a comedy, correct? With the greatest comedic talent that we've had in forever, correct? It's supposed to be the sequel to that. And therefore, Well, first of all, I agree with everything Issues say. I'm trying not to be as blunt about it. It was the positives. It was great to see everyone again. The negatives, that's it. Because quite frankly, the story is stupid. The writing is lazy. Lazy, absolutely lazy. And third, had you not seen the first one and you just watched this as a movie individually, which most sequels you can do, whether you saw the first one or not, because they grow their audience. You can see a lot of sequels you can, unless it's like a Marvel movie or Back to the Future. You can watch a lot of sequels individually and get the gist of what happened. This was written like a television movie, and I mean basic cable. I mean ABC Family, ABC Family Disney. ABC Family Disney. It looks that $60 million. I don't know if it all went into Eddie's pocket because it doesn't look like Zamunda. It doesn't even look like New York. I know it's at Tyler Perry Studios. I know it's at Rick Ross's house. It didn't look like Zamunda. I still have issues with why is Gladys Knight changing her song and singing in Zamunda? He's an African king. What does he give a shit about Gladys Knight for? Why are old 80s rappers singing What a King, changing up their lyrics, singing in the kingdom for? The first one was absolutely regal. It's like putting my mom and my late dad into the washing machine of mediocre crap that we've been watching for a long time. I understand people have been pandemicked. I understand people love this movie, but I thought it was just a lazy effort. The plot was silly. Try this. We are tying ourselves up in knots right now, trying to make sense of their nonsensical plot. Here's a quick fix. No. Here's a quick fix. First of all, I'm not even worried about the plot because you're supposed to just enjoy the movie genuinely. I genuinely did not enjoy it. And I did not have these lofty expectations for it to supersede. I know these people are older. I know these people are wiser. And they were wiser because they made their money and they made us all watch it and they got their good press and they pocketed their $125 million off the top from Amazon. That makes them wiser. But everything else is not a good movie. It's good to look at. It's great to see Sherry again. That's the best acting I've seen from her since All My Children. Wesley Snipes continues his second ascending act. He's become like a black Alec Baldwin, where everything he does is terrific. Just like in Dolomite My Name, he stole the show. He steals the movie again. Leslie Jones actually tones down her Leslie Jones mania and is very game with what she does. Arsenio Hall actually seems to understand what the first movie meant and brings the energy. Everyone seems to be interested in working except Eddie Murphy. And not only that, the story's just stupid. Why not this? Why not this? Why not this? And you can still have the girl power situation here. How about this? You know who's a queen, black queen royalty?
Who that?
Beyonce. Why not his daughter, because Africans do this, rich Africans do this, why not his daughter say, attend a fictitious HBCU in New York?
Facts.
Why not she seeking her education because the country and Africa expects great things from her. And she is already in line to be a queen. Mm-hmm. So that carries on the tradition of the first story. And because she's black royalty in Africa, and she's black royalty because black royalty is going to school, like I'm down the street from Howard. There are black royals here at Howard getting their education. Mm-hmm. She's got media press. So she's sort of like Meghan Markle in America, but also like a queen bee type of thing for Zamunda. But she marries or falls in love with a Jay-Z type of non-educated fella who has street smarts.
Come on.
Think about the story possibility. And no. She's still
gonna rewrite the movie. Can we talk
I would love to rewrite the movie because they didn't write it in the first place. Hold on, it's my turn to speak. I got 2 more minutes. I'm not gonna take up any more. I've been quiet for 30. All right. I respect that you were in the movie, and I'm always for people working. But that doesn't mean I have to enjoy.
No, you don't have to enjoy. You
right. But no, hold on a second. Hold on. This still my time. Still my time.
Think about
the possibilities of that story because Prince Hakeem could find himself in his father's role now. And now you inside out something that is generational and trying to break generational curses of expectations on your kids and also what you expect to be when you follow family footsteps and family names. And yet you can still tell the stories because what would Prince Hakeem would do? Take his black ass back to New York? My daughter wants to stay in New York? No. I'm coming to America to get my daughter. And he could visit the old haunts. He could see all those people. I know it's cute in the end, but it doesn't make sense for Randy Watson and Sexual Chocolate to be in Africa. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense for them. They had bad dates with those twins. So it doesn't make sense for the twins to even be there. They wouldn't even know their names. The whole point, going back to Ishues' point about the plot, is the fact that that was a bad date night. That's the point of that montage. And plus, it was rape. And no one said anything about rape. Thirdly, he has a Department of Health ministry. They ain't no blood test the first. They ain't no DNA test the first.
No
Give
DNA
us that a little bit. You can even have jokes like, "Oh, when did you sire here? Oh, and then the biggest issue I have, Jermaine Fowler, bruh, you just weren't interesting. There's so many other talents that could be the son in coming to America, but that storyline, whatever be damned, it just didn't work. It was Zamunda-ish because Kenya Barris was an executive producer and you co-wrote it. It was not coming to America at all. And therefore, and you know what I have a problem with? I have a problem with when I give my opinion. Now I hate the words cancel culture, but now we're in this point where if you don't love something immediately, like the majority of black folks, you are dusted. And I gave a respectable review. I've been a writer all my life. I was a newspaper reporter. I reviewed movies, black, white, whatever. And I didn't cuss, didn't say this was jivey. I didn't say anything. I said I was disappointed. It didn't work for me. And people are like, you in the entertainment business. You should have gotten a movie. You should have written your own movie. You should have, you know what? Y'all are being ignorant. Because everyone can't do, just because we don't like something, that doesn't mean that you need to get rid of us. Everyone loves Coming to America. And I'll leave with this, and then we could get into more of a mix it up discussion. But one thing about Coming to America is that we unanimously love that movie.
Yeah.
The fact that there are so many people who don't have a feeling of adulation or warmth to this money grab, means that something is amiss. And I'll tell you, no one is going to rewatch this movie on purpose. Yes. It felt like it was, now as an adult, as a 44-year-old, people have watched it over and over again because they want to, and they also want to solidify and validate what they watch. I'll tell you one thing, when people don't actually physically reach into their pocket and see a movie that's lackluster, they give it a higher mark than it normally gets. I've seen it. I've been in those screeners, and there's a lot of movies that get those high marks, and then the critics, not the critics, but then the box office comes in one way, and it doesn't sustain it because the word of mouth is when people actually pay, it doesn't work. This did not work to me, and
so
I think it was written. So that's what I say.
I'll say this, like, I agree with Beauty. People will watch it again. I've watched it now 3 times. The third time I watched it was for this show, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I think I agree with, like, some of what everybody is saying. Like, for me, it was the nostalgia of the movie that made me enjoy it so much. But when I went back the second time, I was kind of like Ishues. When I went back the second time and I watched it, it was like, yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. And this is my question to the panel. Do you think the timing of when the movie was written and produced and when it was released, do you think that has anything to do with the reception of it? Because 2020, because I guess at the start of this movie was prior COVID, right? Pre-COVID, when they wrote this movie, probably when they shot the movie.
October 2019.
Okay.
So then you have COVID, and everything that happened in 2020 was kind of changing a lot of people's perspectives and how they, their outlook on things. So do you think that has something? Do you think that the timing of it played a part into how it was received? Well, for the people that received it negatively?
Well, to paraphrase an Eddie Murphy joke, if you ain't eaten for a long time and you get a saltine, that's the best goddamn cracker you ever had. And Coming to America is that saltine cracker. Because if people had paid for that movie and spent the trillions of dollars that it feels like you pay when you go to the movies these days, it would have been like, man, that movie was not such and such X, Y, and Z. Now, granted, Amazon Prime, people don't feel like they're paying Amazon Prime because it's already subscribed, it's already a click on their remote, and it's just organic to their wallet. But it's still their time as well as their money, or the money's hidden. And had they actually left the house for that experience, we would have had, I don't think we would have these likes. We just wouldn't. That's why the large swell of people who I think have to be courageous enough to say, I didn't like it. Because groupthink is like, how can you not like that? I'm a Prince fan. When Prince post Warner Brothers started coming out with all the stuff after that Symbol album, the Rainbow Children, that was trash. He was horrible. And I had to accept that musicology Prince is the best Prince we're gonna get in his latter days. I've seen Eddie Murphy just on a whim, just on conversation, whatever. He's still in there, but I think he's also now in this Prince Madonna phase where they all wanted to be Michael Jackson. When they finally made it after they did all their hard scrabble, either R-rated or X-rated things to make it, Prince, and now Eddie Murphy is now received, and because he always wanted to be this, he thinks he's like Hollywood royalty, and he is, but it makes him so afraid to actually roll up his sleeves and tell jokes. He's stiff, he's wooden, and he let Jermaine Fowler have more lines than him.
Yeah.
And I ain't seen a Jermaine Fowler stand up full for nothing.
Yeah,
and
I never heard
he's the
of
son of a king.
I've seen it. He's not funny.
He's from
He's
up
not
here.
funny.
He's from up here. He's from up here. So that's all I gotta say. I mean, I'm glad that black folks were hired. Tyler Perry Studios did their job. I do have a complaint that Eddie hired Craig Brewer, who did Dolomite's My Name, because the direction was flat. And if it took me to get to the credits and the outtakes to genuinely laugh for what was supposed to be billed a sequel to one of the greatest comedies of all time, that means this movie has failed. If it couldn't give me... Anchorman 2 was a terrible sequel. Anchorman was a classic. Anchorman 2 was a terrible sequel. But there were at least 2 or 3 genuine laughs. I got no genuine laughs. Sorry.
Wow.
Okay, well,
you came with it though. Wait, okay. Beauty, go for it. You came with it, Shawn. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the time.
To answer your original question about if this movie had been written, post-COVID, I don't actually know when it was written, but we were filming in October of 2019. So a lot has happened since then. A lot was happening during that time. I don't know if that scene would be in there the way it's written, with him being drugged and taken advantage of because of the Me Too movement. I don't know if those things would have been included post-COVID or even during COVID if it had been written during that time. So, it's hard to say, but I can say this, that sense of nostalgia is not rose-colored glasses. I'm a writer myself, so I understand the inconsistencies. But even with the inconsistencies, I won't just call something trash. And it's not an indictment against either of you gentlemen. It's your opinion. It's your, excuse my puppy is tripping right now.
We're disagreeing.
He's disagreeing with you all, not me. But
Mama, that movie was trash.
No, he loved it. He sat there the whole time. He sat there the whole time and he watched it quietly.
That movie was good and terrible.
But what I'm saying is, I don't want to indict you, but I also don't want to be included in that group of people where you think they're just looking at through rose-colored glasses because of the nostalgia. But I did laugh. I genuinely did laugh. I didn't laugh the whole time, and I'm not sitting there comparing the two because I think it's a continuation. I'm not going to compare the first one to the second one. I want them to be looked at together as a continuation, even with this inconsistency.
It sets up in part 3, which I hope is done better. But with that said,
no.
Oh, yeah, I do. I actually need them to, because it's almost like redeeming themselves. I need you to give me the movie that I was supposed to get. But with that said, whose fault was this that it didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen? Because you guys at the bottom, Ishues and Shawn, y'all came up with a lot of great comments. And I'm sitting here, whose fault? Because there was a point where Coogler came to Eddie and was just like, hey, I have this idea for Coming to America, the sequel starring my boy Michael Jordan. But he passed. He was just like, nah, I'm good. And then that started his wheels moving as far as all his own version. And he said that he wanted the movie to be more about me, Akeem, because in that version Cooler came up with, it was going to be more about his son.
Well, this sequel wasn't about Akeem. This was about his son.
It was.
It was about both. It was about both. It was about.
I mean, I don't understand why he would pass down
the King Akeem. There was a direct view as an audience member to see his transformation from being like his father. And even his wife had to remind him, like, you've turned into your father. Remember who you were. And part of that journey of him remembering who he was, he had to give his son that same freedom to be who he was as a prince. That's why he started dressing different. That's why he went to his wedding and chased him down. And that's why he was like, you want to get married here? You want to get married, in Zamunda. He was giving him choice. He was not being as rigid as the original king was being. So we did see that transformation within Akeem's character. It wasn't just about the son.
Well, we're not. Well, the comment wasn't just saying that it was just devoid of anything about Akeem, but the way it was set up, the movie was going to be like the first one, where the focus was Akeem, like 75% is Akeem, 25% is about his child or whatever. That's not what happened. So, Issues, what you got?
Okay, look, this is what I'm gonna say. And again, first and foremost, Beauty, I applaud that you got a chance to work on the movie. I hope you got a check out of it.
I did.
Great. Well, then listen, I applaud you. I applaud everybody who worked on the movie. I think it was great that he gave so many different comics and stuff like that an opportunity to be in the movie and get a check. Because anytime someone can open opportunities for you to get bread in the entertainment business, that's a blessing. So I don't want to say I don't want to come off like I'm hating on anybody that was a part of the movie. I'm simply speaking from a consumer standpoint. I'm the consumer. This is my opinion. Now, also, I'm a type of person like, like I don't take things at face value. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what Hollywood is. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a collection of characters put on the screen. Every major movie like this is to drive a narrative. And I feel like the narrative that they were driving was very problematic for Black folks. And I feel like they did what they always do. You know what I'm saying? The reason why, okay, when anyone talks about the movie, I've gotten a lot of people with responses, the ones that like it. The first thing that comes out of their mouth is the nostalgia. That's the first thing. First thing they start talking about is the feeling that they got, right? And if you go and you check my social media, you see I'm always an advocate of we as Black folks, we need to stop thinking with our emotions and start thinking with this right here, because this is how we fall into the traps. They've always used celebrities, athletes, people who we idolize in order to sell narrative. And because we have a personal, we love them and we feel bubbly when we see them on screen, we fall for it every single time. Now they took one of our
though? What is the narrative that
I'm about to go there. I got you. It's a few of them actually, right? Number one.
I'm listening.
Okay, I'm going. Number one, I felt like they turned, I said this before, I'm going to say it again. I felt like they turned our first Prince Charming that we ever had, they turned our fairy tale prince into another rich nigga with a baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. They turned our Prince Charming into another rich nigga with a baby mama. Ratchet, not just a baby mama, a ratchet baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't like respectable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dig Like the first scene you saw, she have a scented candle between her legs, spewing her smell in his direction. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? So like, it wasn't just a bad chick that he, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a bad chick that he ran into. They chose her specifically so that becomes when Akeem first came out with "Come to America." You know what he did? He destroyed the Jerry Curl movement. Remember the Jerry Curl movement before "Coming to America" came out?
Made fun of it, literally.
Facts. And people from that time stopped putting processed chemicals in their head and started rocking more naturals. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the first movie, every black character in there. Now I ain't talking about side characters and extras and Samuel L. Jackson. I'm talking about the main characters. Every main character in there was an affluent business owner. Even Daryl and his family, they were affluent business owners.
Yes.
That was the largest collection on screen of successful black people. Right? They flipped, and they took that whole thing and flipped it and turned it into regular nigga stuff. Here's the two things. Number one, I've been to Queens. I got family members in Queens. Nobody in Queens act like that. That's number one, right? I felt like every negative black stereotype was on full display in that movie. You know what I'm saying? Everything from dudes niggas can't finish college because they can't afford it or whatever the case may be. So they drop out or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? The thing that really, really got to me was, and I've been to Africa several times. I don't know who else in here has been to Africa before. I've been there several times. It's like they still driving this whole Africa as a backwards country who don't know anything about what's going on with the rest of the world. You look outside and you see zebras. When I was over there one time, a dude told me, I was over there, we were just kind of kicking it in a cafe or whatever, and he was like, I was like, man, I said some ignorant American stuff. Like, I expect to see zebras and stuff like that. He laughed at me. He said, so you go to America, you look outside your door, you see bears and eagles and stuff like that flying around. Like, no, it's not like that over here. You go over to Africa, it's just like any other city. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they were able to get away with that in the 80s because we didn't have social media. A lot of people wasn't going overseas like that. Now we got social media. People have traveled overseas and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you one thing. And the fact that him as an American was able to go over there and teach those girls anything. Come on, man. Africans are the most educated people on the planet. I mean, bums on the street speak 5-6 languages. Bums on the street and went to fly universities and they got degrees and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this
notion, the woman who vaccinated me spoke 4 languages.
Facts.
The woman who just vaccinated
me. That is a regular thing. That's a regular thing. So the fact that he had to teach her about a bait and switch was actually kind of disrespectful. Now I'm gonna go into another
Frisky's
thing.
Cat.
Dig it. Lions eat Frisky's cat, right? Okay, whatever. I ain't gonna get into the details. I get to the major stuff, right? Okay, so here's another one. People look at the movie and say, "Oh, well, it was too much feminism and empowerment of women and stuff like that." I personally disagree. I think the end of the movie ended with her being the heir or whatever, and that was great. But en route to that, first of all, let me just say this. Wesley Snipes' character, although I enjoyed it to a degree, and I'm glad to see Wesley doing his thing, I thought he was too much of a buffoon. And I didn't, okay, first of all, the driving motivation for Wesley Snipes' character is the fact that Akeem left his sister in that state of barking like a dog, which already was ridiculous. Okay, right. Like you want me to believe that this strong black woman has been hopping on one leg and bouncing like a dog for the last 30 years, right? So that was his sole motivation. Watch where I'm going with this. That was his sole motivation, right? Why would you then raise your daughter to be the same exact thing? And the thing about it is, which is more problematic than that. And in the first one, Regina Bell's character, she was raised to serve Akeem since birth, right? I have a situation like that right now. My nephew is married, and my brother and a friend of mine that we all grew up together, they made that pact when they were babies. My daughter's going to marry your son. Right now, they're married. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so from birth, she was raised to be a queen to a specific person, which was Akeem, right? In the second one, not only did you raise your daughter to be the same person that your sister was, but you even took it a step further. They just objectified her totally. Listen to the lyrics of her song. I'm 23 positions in the one night stand. I only call you back if you say that I can. That's a hoe. That's a hoe. Period. Right? And then when she finally met Jermaine, who nobody knew he was going to be the prince. Nigga just came off the street in New York. Nobody knew he was going to be the prince. What was her thing? I'm just a wife. Whatever you like. I'm just a wife. So she was she wasn't groomed to be a wife for a specific prince or royalty. She was groomed to be an object for any nigga with money. Any nigga with right, exactly. So I'm like, you have that aspect of it. The fact that Jermaine is there educating Eddie's daughters on anything. You know, they have a strong African American mother. You know what I mean? And they have every resource of the country.
Right.
By that time, she would have been super educated. And we're talking about for real. She'd been super educated. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I felt like they played into the stereotypes of Africa still being a backwater nation or whatever. It was kind of playing it like it's a country. You know what I'm saying? It's not a country, it's a continent. You know what I mean? People in Africa don't refer to Africa as Africa. They don't. They refer to the specific country that they're in.
I don't think they were saying the whole of Africa. They were talking about Zamunda. They were talking about that kingdom of Zamunda.
There were certain parts.
You may see elephants in Zamunda.
No. There were certain parts. There were certain parts in the movie where it was just Africa. Like even when Michael Blackson came in, he said the most endowed man of all of Africa.
All of Africa.
It was a whole bunch of that kind of stuff where they're playing into the whole stereotype again, uneducated of the continent of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, real Africans do not refer to Africa as Africa. They don't. You know what I'm saying? They refer to the specific country that they come from, whatever the case may be.
Villages. Yep.
So again, you're talking about the negative African American stereotypes that were on full display. They took Prince Hakeem and made him and turned our Prince Charming into another nigga with a ratchet baby mama. You know what I'm saying? With baby mama trauma, or whatever the case may be. And then they kept still perpetuating that same stereotype of the zebras and elephants running around in Africa. They have McDonald's sitting on grass. Like, come on, man. Like, people who know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the type of person with anything that I look at it for face value and just be mindlessly entertained. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand what the purpose of media, Hollywood, and all this stuff is. It's propaganda. And a lot of people aren't willing to look past the laughs and the gimmicks and all of that. And I felt like they fed us a narrative, you know what I'm saying, of this is how black folks are supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's acceptable to be in these type of situations or whatever the case may be, which really brought us backwards from Wakanda. You go back to Wakanda. You go back. You go back. No. But I'm not looking at it again. I'm not looking at it on the face value movie part. Wakanda, Black Panther did a lot for black folks.
Oh yes, it did.
They did a lot for black folks, and just like you could go back, Scarface, Boys in the Hood, like any meaningful movie has impacted the society, right? So what it did for black folks, you see people walking around like this. It showed Africa in a light, or a nation in Africa in a light where the people were super intelligent. Shuri was a teenager. She was smarter than Iron Man. She's one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe. You know what I'm saying? Right. High technology. They were ahead of the curve on technology and all this kind of stuff. And then you take that and you go all the way backwards and you take Prince Hakeem, who was our first Prince Charming, and you get a nigga a baby mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's problematic. Do your thing. I'm done.
We're coming up on time, man, but that last point is something I really wanted, hoping that we had time to get into because of the different emotions that were felt from watching Black Panther and then watching Coming to America. And I end with this, and I'll start with parting shots, and we'll go around the room, and I appreciate everybody for joining the conversation today. I'll start with this and say, I still enjoyed the movie, right? I still thought it was entertaining from the standpoint of nostalgia, and it brought back a lot of characters that I missed. When I went back and I watched the movie again, it was like the first time I watched it just as a fan, then I'll go watch it as a dad. Now, and I definitely saw a lot of what both of you guys are saying, you know, in terms of the images that it left us with from watching the movie. But we're gonna go with party shots. Again, thanks for everybody for joining the show. As per usual, we'll start ladies first. Beauty, give us your final thoughts. If you could be on anything that we've discussed, something random, it's all on you.
Well, just to tie into what you were just saying, I have watched it as a person who was a part of the movie, right? Of course, yay, this is awesome. I'm trying to find myself. I'm pausing the TV. I'm trying to, say, hey, there I am right there. All of that's good. Watching it as a parent, two different things, because the movie, the original movie, my girls are teenagers, and it was a long time before they could watch the movie because nudity, all these kind of things. We run a different kind of ship here. We run a family-friendly ship over here at this house.
All right.
So they could not watch it. And I'll pause it, I fast forward the original movie. This movie, we were still all sitting together, and I had my finger ready to pause and ready to fast forward. And there were some things that I thought were inappropriate, but at the same time, I, on a whole, cannot say this was trash. On a whole, I cannot say this movie was garbage. On a whole, I can see what my two brothers are saying about the inconsistency in characters. I can see how they, Hakeem's character was a little sullied, baby mama drama and all this kind of stuff. Those stereotypes, yeah, they do play through, but there is so little out here that we can watch as a community, that we can come together, and it brings us together in one room in front of one television. It's hard to come by to find family-friendly entertainment. That's why my husband and I are doing what we do with Zona Media Group, because that's family-friendly, it's wholesome. Your grandma can watch it, your niece, your nephew, even the 2-year-old baby can watch it. But we don't have a lot of that. So I'm not saying settle. I'm just saying support where you can. And if you can't support it, then don't hate too strong on it, brother, because we all just out here trying to make it. That's all. I'm done.
Well, all right. Shawn, what's good with you? Talk to him.
I'm going to try to be as pithy as possible again. And I'm going to speak real truth here. And Beauty could attest to this, and all y'all brothers can attest to this. It's tough to be an entertainer or a creator or any person of color, particularly a black person, specifically a black person. So when I wrote my review, something I've been writing reviews since my days at the Red and Black, since my days with other newspapers. I didn't cuss, I didn't slander, I didn't besmirch characters. And I got people wanting to call me things like sellout, or say because I'm an entertainer or I'm in the creative business that I'm a hater, or I'm stupid, or I'm a fool because of an opinion about a movie. An opinion about a movie that's based off a movie that we all universally liked. There was no argument about the levels of like or dislike or liking it for what it was. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And for the fact that I said I did not enjoy it, no slander, all respect to everybody who played in it, I'm told I'm not a supporter of black folks. Everyone knows that's far from the truth. Maybe because I don't shuck and jive or wear a woman's dress. I'm not a supporter of black folks. But let me tell you something. You get better as a race, as a creative entity, as a people of expectations. When people who are at the highest of their craft, you don't let them just take advantage of you for money grabs.
Talk to them.
Criticism makes you better. I've been criticized all my life. And people are so easy to criticize the person who ain't got no damn money, who ain't got no shine, who no one's heard of. It's so easy to spit on that person trying to make it. But when a person who is that same person who love the craft so much and will kiss the boots of the icons and give them their money, We're supposed to keep giving people who got everything all the praise. How does that make sense? You know what's funny? When you own a restaurant or any business, the people outside who are hungry and homeless, you tell them to get the hell off your block. A famous person comes in and you say what? You eat for free.
It's backwards.
And it's ass backwards. And that's what I'm saying. We should be pushing more and more the independent folks who get the story right. The independent comedians who can tell the damn jokes.
Exactly.
Not the folks who rest on their laurels and are already paid and have had their heyday. I watched this movie not because I expected it to equal the first, but I did want to see the effort, the enthusiasm. I didn't even get enthusiasm. It was flat. It was quiet. It was lame. And I can understand the thing about parents wanting to have family-friendly stuff and all that stuff. Cool. But there's also a point, too, where this generation who are now parents, I'm not a parent, but our generation, Generation X, who are now parents and are of age, who remember things a certain way, still want to be treated like adults. Because I tell you what, people like Beauty, I'm not making fun of you or anybody else, and people like Co, y'all are still Curry and Beauty. You're not just someone's mom and someone's dad. That's a big title. You're not just someone's husband, but you're also yourself. You're an individual who wants to enjoy adult things. This was an R-rated movie that came in at PG-13 that gave me G talent. And I'm going to say this last thing, and I'm going to get off. I'm going to say this last thing, I'm going to get off. Because I love these people. I expect better. I expect effort. I expect a rewrite. And we got a lazy revision. You had 33 years to come up with this.
Right.
Poe, you asked who's to blame. It's Eddie Murphy Productions, bro.
Yep.
It's Eddie Murphy who signed off on this and signed off on that. And I guarantee you Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan would have had this happen. And to wrap up in conclusion, they try to do some Wakanda Durham shit in the end of this. And had Arsenio Hall and 3 little girls come in with broomsticks, knock off Wesley Jiu-Jitsu Blade and a bunch of black African paramilitary dudes with sticks.
Facts.
And I wanted to cut the damn thing off then, but it's like I got 10 more minutes of it. And I don't care what John Legend sang at the end. I don't care. I just didn't enjoy it. And if I didn't enjoy it, that's cool. Because if you did enjoy it, that's cool. But I didn't go on, like Cole said he liked it. I didn't go on your timeline and say, well, bro, I didn't like it. I didn't go on another person's timeline and say, I didn't like it. I wasn't trying to hate. I said my piece on my page. But if you didn't like it, stay off my damn page. And support me. Where's my support when I'm trying to do my things?
Right.
And that's it.
That brother preaching.
What
Come
you
on,
got, bro?
what you got?
Listen. First of all, I've been an entertainer, you know what I'm saying, for upwards of 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like Corey said, I've toured the world, I've toured the country. And, you know, some people like my work, some people don't. And I have to accept it as that. This whole notion that because you don't like it, you hating, that's just not true. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and like I've seen people literally be so far in their feelings about this movie that they threaten violence for other people on social media. Like I've seen it, posting all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Threaten violence and get all upset, and people who I'm cool with just because I don't like the movie. If I don't like the movie, I have the right not to like it. If I say it's trash, that's my personal opinion. It's trash. I'm not gonna bite my tongue. I haven't bit my. If you go and listen to my music, I don't bite my tongue on my music. I don't bite my tongue when I'm in front of people. I don't bite my tongue. If I feel like it's trash, that's how I felt. It was trash. And it was only trash because it was the follow-up to a great movie. Coming to America, the first one, is a great movie with comedy in it. That's what it is.
That's right.
It is. I mean, it is aesthetically a beautiful movie. It is well put together, well acted. It wasn't no forced jokes. It wasn't no forced buffoonery and coonery and all that stuff. It was a great movie, stem to stern, that had a lot of the best comedy in it. Was subtle comedy. Comedy that you didn't even, it wasn't even put on full display. Like when he walked back into the kitchen and Louis Anderson was making a shake and then him and the shake fell over the counter. Like it was just things that were just like, it was subtle comedy. And I felt like they said, look, we're going to take all of the things that people loved about the first one, and we're just going to cram it in this movie. Right. And because we have a whole bunch of people in here that people enjoy from other movies and other mediums and other things like that, they're gonna like it. They're gonna buy it and they're gonna defend it. Why? Because they know, people who do this stuff, they know that we as American people, we have always been driven by our emotions. That's a fact. That's why they want to get, people elected and stuff. They put Jay-Z and they put Kanye and they put Beyonce and they put people you love to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? And people get upset when you like, I'm not with the program. You know what I'm saying? So the movie as a whole, as a sequel, right? Like I said, in order for me to enjoy it, to rationalize it in my brain, say I enjoy this movie, I have to forget about the first one because before anything, the movie is a sequel, and I thought as a sequel it fell short. There were certain things about the movie that was established in the first one that they totally forgot about in the second one. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is Akeem so adamant about not breaking tradition when the whole story was about breaking tradition?
Breaking tradition. Yep.
The entire movie was about breaking tradition, and his dad at the end validated the breaking tradition by bringing Lisa to Wakanda. I mean, to Zamunda. You know what I'm saying? So you go from that to now it's all of a sudden boom, boom, boom. And the other thing is this. One of my favorite lines in Coming to America 1 was, "This is beautiful. What is that?"
How he get to his point and the volume go out? I don't
Oh,
even
no.
understand.
Hold on. Somebody call me. My fault. My fault. Somebody call me. Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. You good?
Right. Yeah. So one of my favorite lines in the movie was, "This is beautiful. What is that?" Every time I hear that, I'm in tears. Every single time. Subtle comedy. When they revisited that same joke at the end of the movie, I had to turn it off. It was just too much. And that was just indicative of what they did the entire movie. It was just lazy jokes. We're going to recycle the same jokes, the same dialogue, same conversations, the same tropes, the same everything. And you're going to like it because you have all of these famous faces who you idolize. And so you're going to like it. So in parting, I'm just going to say, number one, Beauty, no disrespect to you. I'm glad you got a chance to the opportunity to be in the movie. If I had the opportunity to be in it, I probably would have been in it too. But I would have looked at it and said it was trash anyway, even if I was in it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else that was a part of the movie, I applaud that, whatever the case may be. But I'm a movie buff. You know what I'm saying? I've been a movie buff ever since I was little. As a consumer of the movie,
the original.
I'm a nut. Yes, I literally I can sit here and start the whole down for the first one. That's a fact. So as a fan of the first one, and I'm with you on this, Beauty, I didn't get a chance to watch it as a kid because of my parents didn't let us see the dance scenes and the nudity and all that. So I came out when I was 10. I think I probably snuck and watched it when I was like 12, finally. You know what I'm saying? But even the second one, it ain't family. It's sort of family friendly, but really it's not. Like you had sexual innuendo, certain things. The royal privates are clean. I'm not going to play that for my daughter, my young daughter. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things, her with the candle between her legs and stuff like that. To me, that's not family friendly, even if it is PG-13.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? I have a 13-year-old daughter that I wouldn't let her watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because
if the rating was R, it would have had to be a better movie.
But, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, it's different strokes for different folks, of course. But even I felt like it fell flat on that, it being something that you could sit every generation of your family down and watch it. I wouldn't do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things in the movie, certain messages in the movie. I don't want my daughters to pick up on those messages. I don't think it's entertaining. I don't think date rape is entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people who are victim of that, and I was a victim of that myself. It's not cool.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot about the movie that I didn't like. But what really bothers me for real is that you can't have an opinion about it without people wanting to attack you. If I don't like it, I just don't like it. If I think it's trash,
we're not attacking each other here.
But there's no disrespect to anybody that was a part of it. That's all I got.
Not here. Great party shot. Before I go to my party shot, I got a perfect comment from one of our co-stars. And this is from Kimberly Ward. She says, "I applaud you all for sticking to your guns on your review of the movies. whether you liked it or detested it.
Yeah.
We love to say, Black people are not a monolith.
Mhm.
And
Hey, Kim.
that is
Hey,
perfect. I
Yeah.
think we need to teach a class on Coming to America, both parts, because I have the teachers right here. I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the movie.
I knew it.
I
I knew
love
that was
all
gonna
of y'all, and we need another sequel just so I can have another conversation because we
Okay.
can keep going on and on. And I know people want to talk about it, but you guys were awesome. And like Kimberly said, I appreciate y'all sticking to your guns and for keeping it 100. As always, we would love to have y'all back on a future show because y'all brought it. Y'all are official co-stars, and I really do appreciate y'all.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
thanks so much for joining
Hey,
the show.
Shawn, I
tonight,
remember you
man.
from UGA too. You used to wear glasses, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I used to have a high top fade, a little medium top for a
I
second
can't hear you.
before I shaded. Can't hear me? What's going on? You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't
All
hear you.
right. So
All
we're
right,
gonna go
well-
ahead and close out the show. We can connect after the show. I'll make sure everybody in contact with everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Big Co Show this evening. Look, if you hadn't
I
got a
can't hear
chance to go
nothing.
see the movie, go see the movie. Thanks, everybody.
Well,
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
All
guys.
right, and we about to be out of here. Hey, until next time, peace out.